Go Tigers.
Or go Tigers.
I don't know. It's a tough one. I personally don't have an answer. I don't know who's gonna win. I feel like it's a game where it can either be a blowout by both teams.
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't know. Everybody's been asking me like, who do you think's gonna win? I was like, this is one of the very few games where I don't know, just because of how good Clemson is. I mean, a lot of people are skeptical about them because they play in the ACC.
Yeah.
And they don't play anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like, that team, that coach, that quarterback, they're all proven.
Yeah. They're just one of those teams where we've seen them before. There was really no point. The fact that they were getting doubted was not good because you're just disrespecting the national champion, and
They haven't lost.
And they weren't losing anyone, so they were just getting doubted and disrespected, and that's just gonna light a fire under a team like that.
The closest game was North Carolina, and
it was early in the year too. It was like in September.
That game was the reason why they're at right now.
Yeah, and I mean it happens. Like everyone has their little slip ups in the season, and even a team like LSU had Ole Miss pit over 400 rushing yards on them. So it's gonna happen. But when it comes, a team is elite and good when they show up in these playoff games. Like that Ohio State Clemson game was an all-time classic. You have Trevor Lawrence, right? They're down 16-0. He gets that targeting call hit on him, which I thought was a bogus call. It was a terrible call, to be honest. But
that's what turned it around.
It turned the tide of the game, and after that,
is when he started going off.
Yeah, and we know what he can do. He's one of those QBs.
He's already in my opinion, we're going to be one of the all-time greats.
Yeah, he's already goated.
He went in as a true freshman.
Yeah.
Whooped Alabama. Who did he play in the semifinals?
In the semifinals, Clemson played Notre Dame.
Whooped Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Bad. And that's why, I can't count them out.
At all.
Just because Dabo's an amazing coach.
Yeah.
Will Venable's amazing DC. Their OC knows what the hell he's doing.
Yeah.
They're all seasoned in this.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really worried when they played North Carolina because I was like, all right, well, we'll see what they do next week. Next week, they lit it up. Week after that, lit it up. Week after that, lit it up.
And I can't count them out. They started to get hot, too. They were getting hot. If you look at the scores, they were getting hot towards the end of the year, and that's when you start. Oklahoma always says championship in November, and realistically, November is always the most important time of the season in college football because that's when it comes down to you playing your best football. Your toughest games are normally then. You play your rivals then.
Rivalry.
Championship games are then.
Those rival games are massive.
It's just hard to tell because, this is the year I always, coming from my perspective, I always said LSU was just as good as everyone else, but they never had the offensive coach or the quarterback to take them to that next level. But they've always had the defense and just the personnel. They've always had the same type of players. They just never had a quarterback. They just never had the quarterback.
That's what they're missing. They had the quarterback last year. They just didn't have the offense for him.
Yeah.
The offensive play calling. They had the offensive people.
Yeah.
They just didn't have the offensive play calling.
And they incorporated the new OC and he's just kind of elevated. Yeah, and he's literally implemented their offense. Yeah.
And ever since they put in that pro-style offense, they've been lighting it up on everybody except for Auburn. Auburn is the only team to hold on to.
Yeah. It was 20. It was like 24 to 17 or something like that.
Yeah, that was the lowest scoring game.
Yeah. And
that's why I don't know, just because That's all I can say is I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be a game where it's going to be hopefully it's an all-time great shootout. I think it's going to come down to who has the ball last. Normally, Heisman winners don't play to their ability a lot of the times in playoffs, but Joe Burrow seems to be different, right? But this could be the game where the more experience might show up, and it's going to be a home game for LSU. It's in New Orleans, so it's really going to be a home game for them. And we can't really put a stamp on that for Clemson. They'll show up. They're going to be ready. They have the experience. It's just going to come down to, I think, who has the ball first and who makes more plays, who also doesn't turn it over. Because, turnovers can be the tide of a game, and you can flip a game like that. So we just have to see. I really probably would go with Clemson in a really close one, and I'm only giving them the edge just because they've been there already and they have experience. And every time you doubt them, they show you wrong. People are doubting them against Ohio State, and they came back and won.
I agree
And they played
with
the
you.
tougher game.
I agree with you 100%. But like I said, LSU is just a team that they've been rolling over everybody. Like they've been pretty much unstoppable.
So was Ohio State though, and they played a team like Clemson. It's just different.
That's true.
It's just different when you play those teams like Clemson. They're not doing that to Clemson. I'm telling you
But
right now.
at the same time, Ohio State had a young quarterback, and he wasn't 100% either. I'm not saying that's why they won. I'm just saying, like, obviously,
but Trevor Lawrence is young.
That's gonna. Trevor Lawrence is just a different breed, though. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
he's just a different.
Joe Burrow's in his 5th year, so he should be this good. To be honest, not pin anything against him, but he has so much experience and he's had so many reps. It's just about him putting it together, and now he has the weapons.
I think what helped Joe Burrow a lot is that Texas game. And a lot of their coaches think that as well.
Why do you think that?
Just because that was an early test, the atmosphere there,
the
magnitude of the game. That 3rd and 17.
Yeah.
That 3rd and 17 was massive. I think that was probably one of the most important plays of their season.
Yeah, I agree.
That 3rd and 17, and he just stayed in the pocket, stayed composed, and just fired a bullet, and they converted, and they drove down the field and scored.
Yeah.
I think that 3rd and 17 proved to them and to Joe Burrow that they can get it at will.
Yeah, and he is the most battle tested. So
for sure. I mean, all the seasons he's been there, he's going to be the most battle tested just because of
their conference
played, where they played.
They beat Georgia, Bama, Auburn, Texas, Oklahoma. Like, so many good teams this year. Clemson has really only played Ohio State, so they could also maybe a fatigue factor could wear into play where ACC they're well rested. Yeah. Last year I remember Dabo Swinney was basically saying that I don't want to hear anything from Nick Saban talking about scheduling when they schedule all these FCS schools every year and talking about being rested. Like, they can't really.
It's not Clemson's fault,
and they can't control who's in the ACC. Like, they can't control that.
It's not their fault,
right? So
you can control who you schedule your non-conference games.
Yeah.
But you can't control who's scheduling.
And that's what I was telling people. I was like, you can't punish Clemson, the team that won the national championship last year, because they're winning and the conference seems to be weak. And just because it's not impressive, they still haven't lost a game. They're 28-0 right now.
It's just like, how can you talk down on them when they did that to Notre Dame and they did that to Alabama?
And they just beat Ohio State. Like, they beat the team that we're like, oh, they're about to play Ohio State, so we'll see how good they really are. They came back.
A lot of people had Ohio State winning it.
I didn't. I had Clemson because I just know how they are.
I had Clemson as well.
I just know how they are.
And I told a lot of people, watch out for Clemson.
No, I just know how they are. They're just one of those teams. But I think it's going to be a great game, and I can't wait to see what happens. So,
score prediction?
I'm going to go with probably like 31-28 Clemson.
So you have,
I would say,
as well as the under? The under 70.
The under 70?
The over under 70.
I think it'll be under, because I think this will be a game where it's going to be some big-time football played, and the schemes on both sides of the ball are it's really going to be a chess match. I don't think people are just going to be lighting up the scoreboard like that. And Clemson's one of those teams where they'll shut you down if they need to, and LSU is DBU, so they always have players to shut people down.
And boy, Stingley.
And he's another freshman that's like, I never have to see him play again.
Yeah.
Like, he's one of those people I'm just like, when he had 6 picks as a freshman, and He's not scared of anyone. He's already going to be a top 5 pick in his draft class when he comes out.
I think that UT game helped him out a lot.
Yeah.
He shut down Colin Johnson.
And he's just...
And that's was supposed to be our biggest offensive weapon going into the season.
And he's supposed to be the best recruit,
to shut him down, and for him to get... I don't know if he got a catch or not. I have to look back at that, but I don't know if he got a catch or not. But to lock him up with the size differential.
Yeah.
I think that gave him a lot of confidence. And
he's just one of those players. They said he might be the best recruit to ever come through LSU, which is crazy to say.
A lot of
that's what they've been
older
saying.
Players have been saying that too.
Yeah. And I mean, he's showing it.
He
6
got
picks
some
as a
really high
freshman.
praise this year.
Like, sheesh. Like, that to me is crazy. He's one of the most impressive corners just from his toolbox standpoint. He can play press. He can play off. He can play man, zone coverage. He can tackle. He's fast. He ran a 4.3 laser coming out of high school. Like, it doesn't happen. So he's one of those people that, like Trevor Lawrence, you never have to see play another snap again in college because you already know they're going to be a top 5 pick just because they're just wired different. They're just built different. They're already ready to play in the NFL now. So we just have to see what happens. And I predict 31-28, close until the very end. Clemson pulls away, maybe late touchdown or something from Trevor Lawrence.
So you got Clemson winning?
Yeah, what about you?
I think it's going to be more of like a 42-38.
Okay.
Somewhere around that realm. We got the Tigers winning.
Which one?
Tigers? I don't know.
The Ed Ogeron Tigers?
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm just going with the experience.
I can't even.
That's it.
I can't even give you a biased answer because I like both teams.
Yeah, same. I'm just going with the experience.
So I don't know.
I think that the experience with Trevor Lawrence, I just think they've been there before. And Joe Burrow, I mean, he's had a magical season. It could be crazy magical if he caps it off this way. It's just it doesn't happen all the time like this. And Clemson's just one of those teams. They've already been there. They're the new dynasty. If they win this, they're for sure the new dynasty. And they might win again with Trevor Lawrence again. We might win 3 national championships in a row.
And leave.
So, and get drafted and win. So, we just have to see what happens.
Let us know what y'all think is going to happen and what y'all's final score is going to be. And thank you for watching another Hot Take.